Breathe and breathe. Okay, it's okay. Name calling. I just have some questions about like the name of Jesus. I mean, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. And also, there's all that to work with over many years. Hearing you in this moment is what I've been training for. Just watch your pronouns, dude. It's not hard.
Now, what's you saying? What a
For me, it had much to do with my whiteness and my maleness and my Americanness, and how none of those things could possibly be of any help to the world whatsoever. Are you being hard on yourself again, Trav?
It is true that I am my own worst critic.
And also I heard that like the historical figure of Jesus, that he would have been called something more like Yeshua in that region. And so in his joy, he's like, oh my God, look at it. I gotta sell everything I got. This is it. I'm sorry, said the corporation. We're forbidding the use of the word Jesus. It's hate speech. I'm sure you can understand the Inquisitions, the history of religion. You're not going to be able to use it. It's a hateful, hateful word. You're done.
So many sorries I've already said.
Travelin' Trav's been taking labor and the expression of worth out on the road in the Travelin' String Camp. Whoa, the trip to the Pacific Northwest. I didn't take a lot of film of these people that I met. There are more stories to come. I met some shining, enlightening beings out there, dear God. Together, we are discovering our common work, our common stories, our common love. Slow-moving river on the banks of October. When we strengthen one another, we strengthen every tribe to which we are connected. Slow-moving river, won't you take us to our home? Together, we see the teacher stronger than when we believe ourselves to be separate. Mutual reverence for one another. One love. One heart, one being. The sacred nature of being. The divine in me acknowledges the divine in you. Mutual reverence, respect. I see the light in you.
So many sorries I've already said.
I heard the weatherman's calling for a storm tonight. Yeah, we do what we do to get by. Labor and the expression of worth. Together, we are discovering our common work. Name calling. Would it help if I said sorry?
So many sorries I've already said.
Apparently, we have some more work to do together. We have defiled our sacred texts as we've used them to justify ourselves in greedy, jealous, and vile treatment of those humans who we consider to be other than us. Yes, I see how I've disappointed you, and I know that accusing glare that I now receive from you. Yes, I also glared at the middle-aged white man as you stare at me now. I am encouraged, however, that it is I who is ready to hear you. Hearing you in this moment is what I've been training for. Oh, that dark inner turmoil in which I've also wrestled with those demons, those torturing spirits of whom I see you are also acquainted. You, my friend, are so apparently gifted with insight, knowledge, and wisdom. You also, it appears to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it appears to me that you are not compromised in the same fashion in which I was at your age. Yes, I know that message that you are bringing me now, one of contempt and outright disbelief that myself and my generation could have possibly been as ridiculously stupid as we were. Yes, I know. I am truly ridiculous, aren't I? Your criticism is valid, and I too was astounded at the ignorant violence into which I was born. Would it help if I said sorry?
So many sorries I've already said.
I sat there in a port town in Washington at a small table outside a coffee shop on the pier. The weatherman sat opposite me in a light brown hoodie. I could see my own reflection in his mirrored sunglasses. I wore my brother's old brown Carhartt and black, square-framed glasses. My beard was lengthening as we spoke. I was being confronted for my sins by a man who considered me as one of those ridiculous elders who had taken a big shit on his life. He clearly considered himself, in that moment, to be worlds more informed than me on any and every issue that was important to him.
It's because he was more informed on pretty much everything.
This is a brilliant young man I'm describing. And now I have come to the stage of my life when a 37-year-old man may be described as a young man.
You know the devil is coming, and the angels are gone. All them guitars are strumming and it won't be long till the Lord takes his people high into the sky. Yeah, we do what we do to get by.
You need to crucify me, son? Is that what the white man deserves? Well, it may be.
One day, I was at one of my many deep and dark moments of realization concerning the gravity of human suffering. You probably know this one too. For me, it had much to do with my whiteness and my maleness and my Americanness, and how none of those things could possibly be of any help to the world whatsoever. In my ridiculously naive efforts to ascend toward compassion, I'd found myself in a long and hard meditation on the nature of all brands of leftism. I was working with a healthy dose of academic self-righteousness, fueled by self-hating feminism and tied to the great responsibility of resisting with all my might the excruciating image of the violent and shaming father figures I'd been born into. You were exploring the limitations of an unconscious cultural Marxism, which insists on defining reality in terms of oppressor and oppressed.
Someday all the people will see how we lived in slavery. It will go down in history. Only hindsight is 2020. Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty convincing story. The story of the haves and the have-nots, the king up there on the mountain who will be appeased by nothing less than our souls. Come on. You could pick up the guitar again, possibly. Might help. I've been playing guitar since I was 14 years old. It's a lifelong love and friend, my guitar. I have this relationship with what we call music. Did you know that our guitar playing can be influenced by the guitar greats even before we really listen to them play? This is how I discovered Wes Montgomery's music. It was later into my musical journey. There was so much that was familiar about Wes Montgomery guitar style, yet I'd never really listened closely to Wes's playing. I realized that Wes Montgomery had communicated to me already through many other guitar players, and at least two of my personal guitar teachers. Wes lives, Bird lives, Jesus lives. Embedded in the story of every individuated life are the stories that humanity has told. And in those stories are the reverberations of what we might call the divine, or God. There's much talk about religious trauma. It has become quite clear that we have misused our stories, our myths. The word that can be spoken cannot truly be considered to be the word. Yeah, I think that's kind of why maybe like Jesus didn't write a book. And also I heard that like the historical figure of Jesus, that he would have been called something more like Yeshua in that region. So I just have some questions about like the name of Jesus. I mean, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. And also there's all that to work with over many years. We have defiled our sacred texts as we've used them to justify ourselves in greedy, jealous, and vile treatment of those humans who we consider to be other than us. And now we may come to blame any number of peoples and circumstances for our own suffering. God knows it's more responsibility than any one soul could bear, and yet bear responsibility we must. And it was this responsibility that my faith asked me to bear as I sat there with the WeatherMan.
I heard the weatherman calling for a storm tonight. Hey, we do what we do to get by.
Dennis, brother. Truly, I am honored to have spent the time with you that I did. I am honored to hear from you. I truly mean that. And, well, apparently we have some more work to do together. Traveling Travs, Transrational Blues encounters the Weatherman and Kira Underfoot. Come on, brothers and sisters. And also all of you who consider yourself to be transcendent of that binary description. Much love to all of you, to all of us, because certainly it is Jesus who was like, hey y'all, I'm showing you how to be free of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the rights, the wrongs, the goods, the evils. There is a field out there beyond right and wrong, which Rumi described. And Jesus described how the kingdom of heaven is like a man who discovers a treasure hidden in a field. In his joy, he sells all that he has so that he can buy that field. In my imagination, the treasure that this man discovers, he just finds a corner of it and he begins to unearth it, and he discovers how large this treasure is and how impossible it would be for him to dig it up since it's not his field. And so in his joy, he's like, oh my God, look at it. I gotta sell everything I got. This is it. Wes lives. Bird lives. Jesus lives. And if the name is of great offense, then yeah, that's a great place to start an inquiry, isn't it? Thank God, thank God, thank God for those entry points. Jesus is the one who came saying, I am the entry point. And so are you. I wish you also knew your oneness with the Father as I know my oneness with the Father. And that's the kind of love that will get you crucified. That's not anti-Semitism. That's a story about what it's like to be human, showing up in archetypal text.
He's like, showing us our future, showing us like, who we really are.
Humanity in its not separateness from the divine.
Yes. I will not wilt in your presence, Great One.
God willing, God willing, God willing.
I must not. Great soul.
Neo, Neo, Neo. You're the one, Neo. You're the one.
Archetypal stories.
Meow, meow,
a lot of words. Okay, hold on, just breathe.